What's going on, everybody? Matt Tobacco from SmokinTobacco.com. We are at the TPE 2023 trade show in Las Vegas, Nevada, with coverage brought to you by Drew Estate. And we are at the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust booth, and I am with the man, the myth, the legend, and consensus winner.
Yeah.
Again, Steve Saka.
That wasn't the most important prize of last year. You know what the most important one was?
What was?
To be the most popular guest, interviewee, whatever you call it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. You are our best show guest last year.
Which really, I have to be honest with you. And I'm going to be really blunt. I did not like our show together. I really didn't. I thought it was just kind of, I don't think I did my best work on it. I would actually like a redo.
So you're taking the fall on that one. You're not.
Yeah, you sucked, but I can't say that, right?
I know.
So I have to say I didn't do my best work.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I don't know. When I got off the podcast, it was a fine podcast. It was okay. But I don't know. Normally I get off a podcast and I'm either like really pissed or I'm like, oh, that fucking went great. I got off the podcast and they're a really nice couple. I really liked them. That's how I left the podcast, which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
But I want to redo because that one was not worthy of being your most viewed podcast. So I want a chance to make one that's actually worthy.
Well, at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel, the numbers don't lie. It still was the highest viewed,
but we all know all that matters is my feelings.
I know.
It's what century are we in? It's all about feelings. And the other thing too is you're obligated to have empathy for my feelings, even if you don't fucking want to. You have no choice because that's the way things work today.
Well, Steve, you're always welcome on the show. So that's, if you want to come back on the show, we can make that happen. That's not an issue. In fact, I look forward to it because it's always a great time. But no, it was a big year last year. Obviously, you were our show guest. You had 2 cigars on our top 25 list.
No, thank you.
Just another good year.
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of consistency, which is key.
But it's really a simple formula. Don't make cigars that suck.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't make cigars that suck, look, you're never going to make cigars that are going to make everyone happy. Everyone's going to have different likes and dislikes, and some people are like, you see it. Oh, Stillwell is amazing. Oh, that Stillwell wasn't for me. Tricky Troc is his best cigar. No, Brulette. You know what I mean? It's all over the map. But that's beautiful because what it means is that they're all really good cigars, but they're all really different cigars. So it's a question of finding something that just fits your likes or dislikes within the portfolio. But there's nothing in there that's subpar.
Right.
It's just subpar if the flavor doesn't suit your palate. But everything is constructed well. Everything is consistently blended as physically possible. Everything, I think, of course, is a biased opinion, but I think everything could be considered in the top of its class in each of the genres.
Right.
I think that Sin fits right in with the other box press, Mexican wrap, medium-bodied cigars at the top price point. I think Mi Querida and the Black fit right in with, Liga and Tabernacle. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm saying it's there.
Right.
It's in the conversation. I think Sober Mesa Brulee, and no offense to my friends at Davidoff, I think it's a much better Connecticut shade cigar. And I think it's much better than a lot of the legacy brands. So we have a lot of really nice, good quality, consistent cigars. And we've been rewarded for that because I think people appreciate consistency. Because it's one of the things in our industry we really lack. There just seems to, and particularly on the small side of our business, us little commies, we're scrapping and we're scrounging. Cash flow is always a problem, and you don't have the factory relationships, and you don't have the tobacco knowledge, and all the things that are necessary as a little company to make really consistent cigars. And that's one of the places that Dunbarton has a particularly good competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Because that part we have on lock.
And it's funny, you talk about consistency, and it's something we've seen with other brands. Sometimes brands will have a good 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and all of a sudden they have 2 years where cigars are not smoking the same, things are off, things are different. And for the consumer, especially now today, and I'm sure you would agree, the consumers nowadays, especially being more educated and with so many brands and options that they have, cigars stop performing well, or they don't taste right, or they move on to something else.
Yeah, you very rarely get more than one tasting. Very few consumers are willing to give you 2 shots.
Yeah.
Look, they spent their hard-earned cash. They tried it. It didn't work for them. didn't burn right, didn't draw right, boom, boom, boom. It's not, they have no obligation to give you 2 or 3 tries, right?
Right.
And the sad part is, look, even though I believe that we make one of the best consistent and constructed brands in the marketplace, there's still flaws in it. It's a handmade product. There are definitely clunkers, okay? I come across them all the time. I think, as a general rule, consumers come across it far less in our brands than a lot of other brands, and that's one of the reasons we've been allowed to grow. But don't by any stretch of the imagination think that every cigar coming out of the box is going to be perfect. Organic, natural grown material, handmade construction, way too many storage and environmental things that are way outside of our control, including how the consumer cuts, stores, lights, smokes. I mean, but yeah. But I think that consistency in the end is the most important thing, because once a consumer finds something they like, they want to have that same experience over and over again. So you'll even have a really good brand that people are loving, and then somehow along the way it changes a little, it gets tweaked.
Right.
And they just lose that loyal consumer. You know, first box, he's like, this isn't the right box. Second box is like, they screwed up my cigar.
Yeah.
And then you just go back out into the field, and you just go and start dating all the other girls on the shelf, and you try to find something new. You know, it's really, that's the key for long term. And that's the reason why brands like Padron have done so well. They make a very consistent cigar.
Right.
And if you like that Padron flavor and that Padron construction, then look, you're guaranteed to get it. They do an immaculate job at making a consistent product.
Absolutely.
You know, so. And I think it's a big part of the thing. And like I said, it's tough as a smaller company. Real disadvantage. You know, the smaller companies can be more innovative with their blends. You know, they can take edges, things where, you know, the big companies, they always have to blend for the bell curve, the middle. You know what I mean? They're not trying to get the really experienced, discerning guy. Not that they don't want them, of course. But that's not their target audience. You know what I mean? They're blending for a much wider population, where all the money is, to be honest with you. So their thing is, they can make, but the thing is, those companies, if they really truly set up a small little Project X off to the side, and they really let it run on its own, completely autonomy, is that the word I'm looking for?
I think so,
Yeah. You could do some amazing things with the resources those companies have. I mean,
absolutely.
They have the deepest tobacco stores. They have plenty of talent in those operations. If you put something together in there, a Blackworks, whatever. Well, Blackworks is a trademark name, and can't use that one.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But no, it's all true. Very good points, and I think you hit on a lot of the right points there. And I think one of the biggest parts of your reputation has been the consistency and the quality. And even as a smaller company, provided that continues, I think that'll be something.
But I charge the consumer for it, right?
You do.
They pay at the retail counter.
But people get what they pay for.
About an extra $2, right?
Yeah.
Maybe $3.
Yeah.
Except in really high tax states, I can't help you people. But
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anyway, when talking about DTT,
yeah.
Do you have anything new you're showcasing at the show?
The only thing that we're actually showing at the show is this new Krakatoa, which looks like all the other Muestras, just with a different little logo on it.
Yeah.
But this cigar has been a pain in my ass for about 3 years. I've never been happy with the blend on this cigar.
Can I just ask you though? But aren't all of your cigars a pain in the ass?
Some come together really quick and easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, some just fall in place, you know. But no, this one is annoying. Part of it's, I was trying to make a much more pepper-forward cigar, and I just don't like really super pepper-forward cigars.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, every time I make it, I'm like, So I ended up going for making it super. It's still really strong, but it's typical strong, kind of smooth, but it has a really unique, strange flavor to it. This one's a little bit more on the limb. 6x48. We're gonna release it. We're taking pre-orders for it here at the show, but for the general public, for the retailers out there freaking out, you're gonna get an email on March 1st.
Okay.
And we'll do the pre-orders for all the retailers, and then we'll deliver it in September of this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
Now, the other thing that I wanted to ask you about on the Mi Querida Black, which I know was one of the the hot ones from last year.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned before you were going to be coming out with more sizes than that.
Yeah, we're gonna go one more size this year.
One more size.
We're doing one that I'm calling Papa Saka. It's a nickname they used to call me in the factory. It's what the grandkids call me. So it's a 5 5/8 by 48. So it's kind of, I don't even know what to call that anymore. Is it an extra fat Corona? I think it's more like a Cuban style Corona Gorda.
Yeah.
Right, because that's a 5 5/8 by 46.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a 5 5/8 by 48. So let's go with Cuban Corona Gorda, but I can't say that because those Habanos people are really litigious and they'll sue me for using the word Cuban. So let's go with a not Cuban Corona Gorda. You can appreciate that, Mr. Attorney. Yeah, I'm just helping the dude out.
Yeah.
Because he's going to say to me, Saka, you can't say that shit. Like,
that's what you're paying for.
Come on.
But no, it's exciting to see.
You don't sue anybody when you say Cuban food, right?
No, yeah.
Right. Yeah, but anyways, I digress.
Yeah. So, but will we still see the original size we saw last year? So we're making more.
So I suffer from the same problem in black that I suffer in blue. It's kind of interesting, right? Black and blue, and that's where I suffer. There's way deeper in that I got to think about. But anyways, it's the 1 year of aging time. So I'm always 16 months behind. Because from the moment I pull the trigger and place the order, it's about 4 months before those cigars end up in the cool room, and then it's a year before they can end up going into boxes. So I never seem able to ever catch up with sales because sales keep growing, but I am making more all the time. But it just never seems to be enough. And I know everybody says, well, why don't you make more? You should know better. But guess what? It ain't your fucking money here, you know? It's mine.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm the one that's taking the risk. And I'm the one that, if I made an extra 10,000 boxes of black, what happens if Saka Khan isn't popular 18 months from now? Then who's going to be the guy that's going to cover my, my 300K nut?
It's true. I mean, you gotta look out for your business. You gotta be smart with it. You still gotta spend the money on the tobacco and production and all that. So
we try to scale everything organically, slowly, reasonably, and that's also part of the reason why we've been consistent. I mean, in the last 4 years, we have stopped opening accounts like 5 times, and then when we get caught up, we're like, okay, we can open a few more accounts, and then we stop again. And like right now, typically when we come, the time we typically open accounts every year is at the 2 trade shows. At this one, because if a retailer came here, and you know what I mean, how do you send the guy away?
Right.
If he spent his money and he came here, so we open accounts, and the same thing at PCA. So, but that's pretty much the only 2 times a year we tend to open accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a good strategy that's worked well for you. You've kept the business very balanced and consistent. Again, we say that word consistent, and it's worked. And I think it's shown.
Part of it's I'm old, and I'm just very risk adverse.
Yeah, I mean, you've been around for a while. You've worked for other companies.
Right,
You've seen how other big companies work.
Yeah, I'm just too old to be rolling the dice. I'm not like I'm 32 and I really screw the duck and I can make it up. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
When you get to my age, a lot of it's about, do you actually have money to retire on? And you don't want to screw that up.
No. Yeah, it's you gotta do what's best for you and your business, and I think you've done well so far. So congrats on everything you've done.
Thank you.
And good luck going forward. I know you'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
We're gonna redo that podcast, though, right?
We're gonna redo that podcast. We are gonna redo that.
You heard it here, folks. We're redoing the cast.
Last time, Steve, you had another thing you were doing after.
I know, it just hasn't worked out.
Maybe you felt rushed. I don't know.
Oh, that's right, because I was double booked.
You was doing the U-boat launch.
Right. Okay.
Maybe it was because you felt rushed, and we need to
we need to redo.
We can do that. We can do that.
All right, my friend.
Steve, thanks for being here with us today. Thanks for talking with us. I always
my pleasure,
appreciate
always.
it. And guys, stay tuned for more coverage from TPE 2023 with coverage.
Whoa, there's one other thing.
Oh, what do you have?
You can pimp your charity thing, right?
Huh?
Your charity thing. You can pimp that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to be donating a box of rare Liga Privadas to the Fuente charity auction out of my humidor. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be something that's like first release, not released, maybe maybe even like a pre-release factory sample of Dirty Rats in a bundle.
Ooh.
Bench sample, something like that. I'm gonna, when I get back, I'm gonna dig for something cool, and we're gonna throw it in the charities. So that's something you definitely want to get in on. So
absolutely. Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. And guys,
no, my pleasure.
Stay tuned for more updates on that as well by visiting SpokenTobacco.com. But stay tuned for more coverage from TPE 2023, brought to you by Drew Estate.